knowing that there is nothing more I can do, and we regular people can do in order to help the situation in Gaza, that except for giving money and raising our voices and our voices being heard, there's nothing we can do. This Israeli lobby has its swatters all over Europe, in USA, and now we know that undeniably in Keir Starmer's Labour Party in Britain as well, that they were basically bribed, because this is what it is. It's nothing else than being bribed by Israeli lobbyists. So it's so infuriating and devastating that we are helpless, and there is nothing really we can do, but we should not stop trying. Maybe I would like to say that there's hope, but I don't know anymore what hope is, because for me the hope is lost for humanity with each one's innocent child's life or baby's life. So what I would like to say is that we can only hope for justice, or at least that no more lives will be taken. But we know this is false, because every second, every minute there's a life being taken. But the worst is, for me personally, always it's children being hurt. So as I've read on UN website, they shared my thought. Basically, I shared their feelings and thoughts that any war is actually a war on children. Like, there's a saying, the old guys talk and the young guys die, something around those lines. So this is basically the same, that adult people are arguing while children are dying or being orphans or being trafficked. So maybe I'm an idealist. I would love to have peace in the world, but unfortunately not everyone thinks the same way and prioritize peace. Sometimes I feel that people in charge, since they are like very visible, they are on the top, they are seeking those top positions, either they have good intentions in the beginning and they just get corrupt. This is tale as old as time, that once you earn lots of money, you think differently. Suddenly you don't want to, some people don't want to level down, or for them it's more important to keep getting rich, or keep certain standard of life, certain level. Other ones, I think they automatically, when they seek power, if they seek power, these are people prone to be either they are psychopaths or sociopaths, but they are prone to be, or they are narcissistic in beginning, and then it just gets worse. So yeah, any war is war on children, but what we're seeing now is like I've been talking about it before, it's like a deliberate war on children. This is not a collateral damage. This is the worst case scenario we can imagine. This is starvation being enforced on mostly babies. So Israel is making sure that there will be no future generations of Palestinians because they see them as enemies and they're not hiding about it anymore. Maybe they never were, but just Western media outlets failed to deliver on the truth. Because apparently in Hebrew, when representatives, Israeli government representatives spoke Hebrew, like Ben Gvir or Smotrich or Netanyahu, they said things obviously genocidal, but it was not being reported by Western media outlets because it was too controversial. So yeah, obviously there is a very strong Israeli lobby in controlling as newspapers like BBC or news outlets like BBC, CNN, New York Times. Recently, they were not even able to, New York Times, if I remember correctly, they will not be able to name Palestinian children. They used this euphemism, which is like trying to take attention away from the fact that these are children. It was about casualties, that Palestinians under the age of 18. Sounds very vague, but that's the whole point. It's supposed to confuse you, it's supposed to mislead you and take the focus away from the fact that these are children, these are babies. And by the way, I'm speaking chaotically as always, but I'm trying my best. Having ADHD, I think I'm doing quite well considering how chaotic my mind can be. So the thing with babies, there's, maybe you know by now, but there's plenty of evidence of first witness evidence, like Doctors Without Borders saying that this is IDF. It has always been IDF who was cutting the supplies and restricting the food supplies. But first and foremost, and they do it still, there is this embargo on baby formula. So they are deliberately blocking baby formula. And these are doctors who were, the formula was taken away from their medical equipment bags. It's been stopped, especially this thing. Around 30 children are being born every day in Palestine. Right now, because of the siege on Gaza that was announced a few days ago, this is an open war on babies. So each baby that is born in Gaza right now most probably will die because of the forced starvation policy. And yeah, that's of course sick. Normal people with conscience don't have to be told that this is the sickest ever. This is so much repetition of what was happening in Second World War, during the Second World War, but towards the Jews, what was being done by Nazi Germany. But yeah, now most of the world know that Israel is using the same techniques. So the bullied became bullies. They became predators, they became sadists, but it didn't happen in the course of one day. It has happened throughout all these decades post Second World War, and actually slightly before, actually from the moment the Zionist movement was formed. So none of such conflicts, I mean genocides, could be stopped by speaking imposing some sanctions, there always had to be a military action. And it's the same case this time. They will not stop. They will not stop if we don't stop them. So that's what is just so infuriating and frustrating, because we, not like regular people, we can just be donating money for the food that isn't, and supplies and medical supplies that are not crossing the border because of IDF, Israeli diaper forces, as they are called right now, because they announce war on children. This is their primary target, and that's just a side note. They are just pathetic. You cannot get any lower than fighting children and babies. Like, imagine how little you must be, how low or non-existent your self-esteem must be. So that's why I see people like those Zionists who still support this movement. I see them as very little people. Like, they have no balls, obviously. They are just shit scared of children, which is the most pathetic thing. So here I think automatically of such public figures, because I will not even mention the government and people supporting, like regular Israelis supporting their government. Unfortunately, this is like what, over 60% still supports total annihilation of Palestinians. It speaks a lot to the level of brainwashing they've not endured, but they've been subjected to since their childhoods. But anyways, that was a digression. So I automatically think of such public figures as Ben Shapiro, pathetic little angry gremlin with a mouth diarrhea, who of course thinks so superior of himself. He is one of those who suffer of this superiority god complex syndrome, while there's no reason for him to feel like that. He was very privileged, same like Konstantin Kisin, very privileged man. They are so proud of themselves, they use such profound words, while they are stripping innocent people of their greatest privilege, which is the privilege of life, the right to live. So I cannot even express how pathetic they are in my eyes. These are not men. These are cowards. And all the IDF soldiers that have done or are doing anything to the children and defenseless are just not men, and they should be so ashamed of themselves. What kind of woman is interested in such vermin, in such pathetic little... Yeah, I don't even have enough epithets and words and adjectives to come with. This is so so sick. Maybe I'll just take a British English vocabulary next time and just read all these adjectives that fit such little rats. But yeah, there are plenty, of course, of people to be mentioned. I will say it once again with great... I will confess it once again with great deal of shame that during the previous presidential campaign in USA, I was rooting for Trump, but I will very quickly say that now it was about like logical issues, because the left seemed to completely touch the lose the touch with reality. But now I know it doesn't matter whom, which side. I mean, Republicans especially, but either side would side with Israel on this particular issue. They would do the same thing. Maybe not so aggressively as Trump. So no, I'm not excusing him. He's a piece of shit. I was so wrong about this guy, and I was so stupid. I thought I know things, and now I know that I know nothing. Because has never been a doubt about that he has narcissistic tendencies and he thinks very highly of himself. But obviously, just like any other Zionist, he doesn't know history. He just obsessively thinks about the 7th of October, just repeating it like mantra. I cannot listen to it anymore, because it shows so obvious. It shows. I was actually before often like defending him when I was having discussions with people, and I was defending him like, no, he's not racist, because many people Hispanic or of an African descent, that they were voting for him. But now I understand he's still a racist, because for him, Israeli people, Israeli lives are so much more worth than Arabs, than Arabic lives, than Arabic children. It's just... So for a long time I was like very critical to overusing the word racism or racist, but now I understand how racism shows itself. So like the case with UK, United Kingdom, with England, that seems like some like minorities nowadays have more privileges than natives. But exactly, that's why it's so horrible double standard, because once it's about Arabs in the other side of the world, they couldn't care less. They don't give a shit. So this is racism. For me, whenever it's about a child, a baby, a child, innocence, a human being, it doesn't matter however cliche it sounds, it doesn't matter the skin color, it doesn't matter where it comes from. So my stance on Israel changed completely once I realized what they are doing, that they are committing genocide, that they are annihilating Palestinians, native people in the area. You can tell me whatever shit you want about your scripture, about your Talmud, about your the prophecy. Zionists don't give a fuck. They don't even believe. They are not believers. They just want the land. And this is the whole situation. Is such an easy, not easy kind of for them, but such a obvious land grab, both for Israelis and USA. And Israel right now has no right to exist. It has never had. It's a fake artificial state created by Brits and Americans, by unfortunately United Nations. First time it was in 1917 on Balfour Treaty, but it came to life, like it gained its independence in 1948. Like officially Israel became Israel. But who had the right to give someone else's land to some people, some group of people, which it's in principle sounds logical, but in reality we all see how it turned out. They turned out to be predators, psychos and sadists. But about USA, I have as little respect for anyone who was supported by, bribed by IPAC, any political party, any politician. USA should be, Americans should fight now for independence, being independent from IPAC, and that means don't vote for any Democrat, any Republican who is bribed by an IPAC Israel lobby. And USA, they're as much complicit as Israel in this whole genocide. They are murderers, they are sadists as well. By the way, I've recently had dreams about, nightmares about being there and seeing children being killed. And I must say, it feels like it's a nightmare. So I have such admiration for people who go there voluntarily. Doctors, health workers, and many of them, as we know, can get killed. Because the fewer witnesses, the better. So yeah, I think USA should fucking stick to their land, to their land that they acquired a few hundred years ago by bloodshed. But that was long ago. That's exactly the thing. They eradicated Native Americans some, 300-400 years ago, but that was the past. We could go further, but the past is now, and they are doing exactly the same, contributing to exactly the same in Gaza right now, in West Bank. It's disgusting. They are disgusting. It's so, and Trump is so petty. They all are so fucking petty. Instead of, that exactly shows how his narcissism, and narcissism has always been there, but maybe getting this power, it grew. I don't know. What I know is that he's definitely racist, because obviously he thinks less of Arabs in Middle East, or maybe Arabs in general. I don't know. And he was honest, kind of. He's always been honest. He said that he will put America first and his people first. And okay, it's not what he's doing, because he's putting Israelis first. But yeah, exactly. But he's almost keeping the promise, because he doesn't give a flying damn about any other human beings, any other innocent beings. And when I saw him again speaking like this mantra, like this broken record about, October 7th, someone's children, how many times we'll be hearing about that? And I thought, I'm gonna puke. What a disgusting person. So these people are worth more. 1,200 people that been killed and 250 kidnapped are more worth than 60,000 children, probably much more. By the way, the statistics, the numbers are still not confirmed, because you're not able to confirm such numbers on casualties during a conflict, a war, or a genocide, like in this case, without the conflict being over. They eradicated entire families. Israel eradicated entire families. You need to, like, it will take years to actually uncover how many exactly have been killed by Israel. and just, yeah, all those still supporting Israel. These are sick people and very dangerous people, but sick, and they should be kept away in cages. And that's what the last thing. First of all, I would want to hope for finally some military action, united action from European countries and Saudi Arabian countries to storm there and put a stop to it. Get all the civilians out from there. But I'm afraid to dare to hope for this. And then I don't know how it's gonna stop. When it's gonna stop. What will it stop once all Palestinians are slaughtered? Is it where it's gonna stop? So the only thing I can dare to hope for is accountability. And in this particular situation, both Netanyahu, there are so many who should be in jail. Actually, of course, in my opinion, they deserve a capital punishment, but it doesn't exist anymore, or will not be applied. But obviously Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, this crazy witch woman and grandma of all the settlers, basically you would have to imprison 60% of Jewish population, Israeli population, who still support Israel in what they're doing, their atrocities, their sadistic, genocidal slaughter of innocent people, and worst of all, children and babies. And and all these complicit, and enabling. So actually, Trump should be in jail, and him recently suing ICC or ICJ, International Court of Justice, because they issued arrest warrants on Netanyahu and many others, and he's suing them. It shows how little self critique and insight he has to who he is as a person. And I'm so ashamed of myself that I have ever been I bought into his charm. I was also a supporter of J.D. Vance, but he showed me that he first of all cares about America, first and only. He was himself years ago accusing Trump of behaving or being similar to Hitler. And then suddenly he changed his stance, probably because he knew that he has to side with someone in order to go up the ladder. And I suppose he just started to like money too much. Money, exactly. He gained power. Now he has some millions of dollars, and it would be pity to suddenly resign from all of it. He's also bribed by IPAC, so yeah, life is comfortable. He apparently is such a wonderful father. I wonder what he would feel if the same things were done to his children as are being done to Palestinian children. And I suppose since his children are of color, there are plenty of evil people who would like to see them being harmed. So yeah, he should think about it. I don't understand how he can sleep at night and be okay with that. But I suppose that money, yeah, it's too sweet. Like, I like nice tuxedos. I like expensive restaurants and being driven all around with security and in a limousine. So yeah, you sold yourself cheap. I thought you had some values. You represented some values, but unfortunately not. For me, someone who advocates and actively kills children, does any harm to children, misuse them or abuse them in any way or form, they are no ones. Actually, I would take everyone to send anyone to who does that to get a capital punishment. But yeah, all these petty men supporting genocide, but their women are also as useless. So if you have monsters on both sides, then they are the perfect match. But yeah, I'm kind of hopeless, but at the same time, I dare to have hope.